트랜슬레이션 한번 치겠습니다. 그렇죠? 네, 슬래시고 시작하겠습니다. 하나, 둘. It's pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you all too.
Yeah.
It's been great, man.
Okay. Could you please provide some brief introductions?
Yes. Okay. Well, my name is Ralph Sosa. I've worked in animation for over 25 years. I've worked for many studios from, like I said, Fox, Disney, Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network, Sony, from shows like Futurama, The Simpsons, Animaniacs. Let me think, what was the other ones? Pinky and the Brain. I was a character designer, an animator, storyboard artist. And then I also worked in Korea for CG Entertainment, for Big Hit Entertainment, for Line Friends, and for a few other companies in Korea developing content. I started my college career after high school. I went to California Institute of the Arts. California Institute of the Arts is like the famous animation school, where like the Disney school that was developed to animation, but also the broad fine arts, from animation to film and video. That's where like a lot of the directors for Pixar have come from. And from there, I got right away, after 3 years, I worked in The Simpsons as a layout artist, which is like an animator. And from there, I worked my way up to become a director over many years.
Oh, the all things when I was child, I saw all like Cartoon Networks, Fox.
Yeah.
This is always so interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's so exciting when you work in animation. There's so many things like, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, they're like kids shows, and then the adult shows like King of the Hill and Simpsons and Family Guy. It's two different styles, but they reach different audiences. And the interesting about animation for Simpsons is that before The Simpsons, there was no late night animation. The last show that was for Simpsons, that was late night for animation, was the Flintstones. So it was a big risk to The Simpsons because there's no precedent for a show that people want to watch animation. Nowadays, it's very common, but in the, what was it, the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, that's when they took the risk to do that show. Yeah.
That was kind of dangerous thing.
Yeah, when it came out, they said it was the downfall of culture because the son called his dad by his name, but they were just reflecting the times. So they were trying to innovate with the storytelling, and now it's become normal. Now it's a family show. Compared to Family Guy and South Park, it's literally a family show. Yeah.
The Simpsons is for adults?
It's for everybody. So the demographic of The Simpsons is from like 14 years old to about 56. So like, because in the United States it airs at 8 p.m., that's for all audiences. So the show is designed, it's not too gory, it's not too sexual, it's a family show. I mean, they deal with different subjects that are adult, but they have jokes for children, for teenagers, and for adults. So where Family Guy is mainly like a college humor, South Park's college humor, different kinds of shows. So this demographic is a wide demographic. I think that's why it kind of can go all over the world, and it's family friendly.
Okay. Then I want some. I heard that your reason for being an assistant.
Yes.
And for two directors.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm curious about this journey.
Yeah.
And could you share your story of
Okay.
director?
Sure. Basically, it started off when I got out of high school. I mean, when I got out of Cal Arts, I went to The Simpsons, started as an animation artist. I worked for many years, and then I went to work at other studios as a character designer. I came back in 2001, started doing layout again, and I met my mentor, who really appreciated my work. And in those days, I was very shy. I didn't want to. I was an artist. I didn't really communicate well, and he trained me how to be more confident with my work, how to understand how to do storytelling, how to work with a team, how to collaborate, how to work and how to do different decisions when it comes to telling a story. Because it's not about your ego. It's about you're telling a story to an audience, and you're trying to reflect that story that the writers put together and the producers and tell that story. And he taught me everything I knew. Over time, I got better and better, and I became his assistant director. And from there, when he was out of the office, I became the director. He always empowered me to be able to make decisions. And then from there, we did the Simpsons movie. I was the assistant director. He was a director. And that's where I got my confidence of knowing where I stand in my work and how to deliver the content for the producers and the supervisors to develop work that they're looking for to tell them the story of the movie. And from there, I became a director. So they gave me the opportunity to become a director. I directed a few shows, and it's kind of really time consuming and crazy, a lot of work. It's basically you work 7 days a week, you're constantly working. So now I do content development and storyboards for the Simpsons and special projects. But it was a great experience doing directing and directing episodes because basically you're in charge of telling the entire story that they're trying to deliver for the audience. And it's a great experience because you're given the opportunity to shape a show with the writers and the producers to make the show to deliver for the audience.
Then, what is the main directors that working? I don't know what to do when we are. So this I'm okay with this.
No, say it.
Yeah. I want to know what is the work of main directors.
So when you're directing an episode, your job is you go to the table read, you hear the show, they have all the voice actors do a rough version of the story, and then you get the script, and they have storyboard artists that put the story together visually. So they have a visual presentation of the story. Your job is to direct them into a way of what you want the story to be, to reflect. And then once you get the storyboard, you're giving all the work, and you have to divide the work up between the design department, the color department, the animation, background department, and to get them to deliver the work and to follow like the storyline. Because people, when they work on their own, they have their own idea, but your job is to have them focus on the vision of the story. So essentially, you're keeping everyone on track, and you have a deadline because it's commerce. You have a certain amount of time to complete it. So you're basically a social worker. Your job is to get everyone to work together to complete the show within a certain amount of time to tell a specific story. And there's always changes. So your job is to juggle many tasks all at once within 12 weeks.
Then, like all about of the Simpsons, this is the work. Okay, then. Sorry.
So because when you get like, so when you have the artist, you're a director, there's an assistant director, you basically hand out the work to different artists that do specific tasks. There's background artists, there's character designers, layout artists, BG designers, and colored artists. And basically you give them a portion of the script, a portion of the storyboard, and their job is to flesh out the animation. You get it back, you review it, and make sure that it works with the audio, to make sure it's telling the story you want, to make sure that it's actually clear. Because even though we know the story, when you get the script, you know the story, but the audience doesn't know. So you have to make sure it's very clear and simple. A lot of times complicated emotions and ideas will confuse the audience and they won't be focused. So your job is to make sure everything that's happening in the show is focused to tell the story, and particularly the jokes. The jokes are the most important thing. If the jokes fail, then you fail, right? So your job is to make sure everyone understands the point and keeping focus with the acting, the color, the design. You know, you might have weird information in the background that's distracting. You got to get rid of that. Or there might be crazy acting that's not, it's distracting or not appropriate. Your job is to focus everything.
Okay, then what led you start with Simpsons among the
Yeah, but yeah, I know the question. So essentially, that was my dream job. So when I was in high school, I saw The Simpsons, and I'm like, oh my God, that's an amazing show. I want to work on that. Not Disney, not Dream. I just wanted to work on Simpsons. At the time, I was a stupid kid. I did not understand that most shows do not last more than 3 or 4 years. So I was in high school. I apply for art school, not knowing anything. I was like, they accepted me, and my whole journey was like, I want to be on The Simpsons. And then, so basically, when you start the process of animation, you realize oh, shows end. When I got to The Simpsons, it was season 9, and the show's been on for 35 years. I didn't know. This is very unusual. So when I got there, my dream happened. I'm like, oh my God, I got here. But then once I was there, a lot of things had happened, and then I took another job. So I actually left for a while. And then I did a bunch of jobs at different studios and realized, oh my God, I left my dream job. So I went back in 2001. I'm like, oh, this is the place I want to be. So it was one of those things where that was my job. Because what I loved about the show was it's a family show. No matter what happens, at the end of the day, the family comes together. You know, Homer, he's maybe oblivious, he's selfish, but then he loves his family. Same thing with Bart and Lisa. They may have sibling rivalry, but they still care for each other. That's one thing about the show that I really enjoyed, because when I was young, where I grew up, people didn't have a lot of money. People have a bad day at work. When they watch comedy, they kind of forget all those things. So you realize when you do comedy, you're helping people kind of relax at the end of the day of work, or if they're having a bad day, these stories always kind of reflect the world around them and make you feel good. And that's what's great about these shows. That's why I prefer The Simpsons. Family Guy is great. All the other shows are great in their own way. But for me, The Simpsons was the best.
is like kind of dreams come true.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like even I can't believe it. It's very strange because I'm like, I'm still here. I'm still there. Like, wow, it's been all this time.
Oh, okay, then this is the question of The Simpsons, and the, who is the favorite character and why?
Well, one of my favorite characters is Homer Simpson, mainly because he's a blind optimist, right? No matter what, he has so many jobs, he doesn't think, he just does, right? And obviously he's selfish, he does bad things, but everyone does bad things. Everyone makes mistakes, right? And at the end of the day, he always comes back. And he loves his wife, he loves his kids, still does dumb things. We all have that thing where you want redemption in life, where you do something dumb, you don't think right, you do the wrong thing, but at the end of the day, you still do care. And that's what the heart of the show, it's a family show. Where some shows, they are kind of family shows, they are, but to me, this is the one I prefer and I really enjoy. And Homer is antithesis of what American kind of are. You know, basically selfish people do dumb things, but at the end of the day, they do love, they do care, and the family is the most important thing.
My favorite episode is the Homer quit his career
Mm-hmm.
and he's in home. 애기 이름이 뭐지? The baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
The baby come out, so he gonna back to his job.
Yeah.
And he work and he takes the photos.
That's my favorite one. What is you'll be here forever, and at the end, I do it for her. Because they always wonder why are her pictures not in the photo album? Because all of the pictures are at his work. That's why he goes to work, right? That shows love, right? That at the end of you see all these things, right? I get goosebumps thinking about it. It's like it's such a powerful story. It's like why do people do things, right? They do it for the family. That's what he does. He goes to work for his family, right? And that's one of the power of animation and storytelling like that. The writers and producers put together these crazy stories that are so good that you think it's one thing, and you realize how powerful at the end what it really is about. It's about family. Yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes.
Wow.
Yeah. Like do it for her. I almost like cried. I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like, because you think it's like a silly show, right? Just cartoons, but you can't touch people. That's the important thing about content, right? If they're right, even if they're cartoon characters and not real, if the story is meaningful to you, it can still touch you emotionally. Yeah.
Okay. Then, what's the most memorable moments in your directing career?
Well, when the movie started, my director moved on to the movie, and I had to finish the show. So I became the director to finish the show, and I didn't have an assistant director. They didn't give me one for some unknown reason. They just I became the director, and I have an AD, and that's almost impossible. So pretty much, I worked 7 days a week. Had to work with my team. I had to get them excited about working on this without having the proper amount of people to work on it. Late nights, showing people cartoons like Ren and Stampy, showing people fun animation, because some of the crew, they do animation, but they're not that interested. My job was to get them excited and to work hard and to focus and to get the show done. And that was crazy, 2 months of time where getting everybody really excited about the show and putting the team together. And it was a great experience.
Okay. Then, did you have a message wanted to convey through your work?
Yeah. So basically, when you try to create joy, try to make happiness, you try to give people relief or from stress they have at work. The whole point of the work we're doing is to try to, all the hard work we put together, all the time we spend is that you're not thinking about anything. You're just enjoying the content and laughing when you can, feeling good emotions when you can, when it's appropriate, when it happens in the story. And you're trying to get that to people. And you're hoping they're changing their lives, making them feel better.
Just enjoyable, and many people feel like they are so hard works and so hard careers.
Yeah.
And we can laugh with The Simpsons, so I was so good about The Simpsons because this is so touchy and I can laugh this.
Yeah, because Homer's crazy. He's silly. He does crazy stuff. And they've created a world of characters. They have Mr. Burns, they have a sea captain, they have Krusty the Clown. They basically have a whole city. They have the Quickie Mart guy who they can't use anymore, but they have all these characters. And they have, Bart Simpson has friends. They have parents. The parents have been divorced. There's all this world that's so expanding that it can relate to somebody somehow in some way.
the 등장인물이 영어 혹시 있죠? Maybe this animation is so all characters are kind of or word.
Yeah.
Word peoples are all in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I feel like this.
Yeah, there's someone for everyone. Like I said, they have people that work. They have the comic book guy. He works at a store. They have whatchamacallit? They have who's the Bumblebee man? He's like a Mexican character. They have the news guy. Kent Brockman. And they all give them stories. Every once in a while, they have their own storyline. They actually flesh out that character, like Milhouse's parents. They got divorced, then they got back together. So that stuff that happens in real life.
Okay. Oh, this interview is so fun.
Cool.
Then, how does the prophecy always manage to your correct?
Oh, how they predict things. I mean, so one of the writers, I don't know if it's Mike Reese or Al Jean, they had done an interview because they've been asked that many times. So what happens is they have like a writer's room. It used to be 20 people, now it's like 10 or 12, but in general, they spitball ideas of like, what's the most unlikely thing to happen in the future? Like, what's so crazy it could never happen? And they write that down. It's the funniest thing. It's like, how funny is like if Donald Trump would be president? It's impossible, right? Then he becomes president. So as it's because they're comedy writers, and all of them come from Harvard, most of them, and some are just comedians, and they're all great. Is that they're trying to find the most implausible thing that's funny, and it just so happens they actually become true. Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like this could never happen, and it does happen. Like because it's funny, because it's silly. Like you would never think that would happen, and then it does. So they say sometimes life is stranger than fiction, and that's true.
Then, can you predict anything? Can you predict anything about the Simpsons after Simpsons?
What do you mean by that? Explain.
Can you predict something? Anything?
Oh no! I mean, basically, one of the things that they've been doing, like there was one thing that I just saw that they had people wearing headsets, like in the Simpsons world, people were wearing like the headsets, walking around, bumping into things, and they actually have that now because the Apple headset came out, and people walk in the streets with headsets on. That's crazy, right? And that was recent, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're constantly doing these things, and they're writing this stuff up. It's amazing. Yeah. There's been a few more too. I can't remember all of them, but it's constantly happening. Yeah.
That's so amazing. Amazing prediction.
And they're doing a lot of stuff too, because a lot of the stuff they do in the writers' room is that they take from their personal lives and they put into the show, and then also things that they're frustrated by. There's some things I can't talk about now, but there's things that are coming up that they're talking about that are, how would I say this? There are things that are happening in society that they're making fun of now that may be a thing in the future. So we'll see.
Okay. Then, when was the most enjoyable moment you had while creating your work?
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a lot of things. When it comes to creating work is when you're working with, in the old days, we worked on paper. And there's a point when you're drawing, you just feel the energy and you do the right drawing. That's a funny drawing. And then you see it on screen and you're like, oh my God, it made it. And if you get a reaction. That's like a thing where it's like, they don't know who you are. It doesn't matter. But if you see people laugh, that makes it feel good, right? Because like it worked. It was great. People enjoyed it. And it's the team effort of everyone coming together. Like, the writers putting a great show together and the team making great art. And then sometimes when you have your artwork presented and it works out, sometimes I've done storyboards or directing or just animation, seeing it work out. And sometimes when you get to the next level of drawing where you don't think about it anymore, you just draw and it works. It's awesome.
Maybe this
Yeah.
answer is kind of for you. Always you are enjoyable of this work.
Yeah, it's one of those things where even when there's hard days, you find something. Because again, what you're trying to achieve is you're trying to make something for someone else. You're trying to make someone else happy. And you're trying to think of like how to make this clear and work. And there's some days where it's kind of hard to predict which exact moment, but there's many moments. There's many times where, working with my director, who's my mentor, or just when you're working on some scenes, you're like, oh, you're doing some fun animation. I'm trying to remember the exact ones, but there's so many things that I've worked on that I'm trying to remember what exact thing or something I've done recently. I can't talk about anything recent, but stuff in the past. I've done some crusty stuff that I really loved. Lisa, I used to love working on Lisa because she's the most emotional character. So I used to like working with her. I can't talk about, I can remember the recent stuff, but I can't talk about any of that stuff, unfortunately.
Okay. Then, what is the best touches the experience when you write The Simpsons? What is your best episode?
Well, the best episode that I worked on was, I thought in particular was, I'm trying to think, when Homer's mom dies. Yeah, she dies in the episode, and because he feels abandoned by her, and she kind of abandoned all of them, the grandpa. And so that meant a lot to me because, you know, you realize that people do have abandonment issues and things that happen. And that was a touching episode to work on. I liked it a lot.
Okay. The this is questions about Korean fans
Yeah.
or Korea's. Uh, what led you to decide to work in Korea?
Well, like I said, I've traveled to a lot of places, like South America, Canada, other Asian places. But Korea is the most, like, I understand the culture very well. It's like almost like Spanish culture. It's very close and similar in the sentiment and feeling. And every time I've come, everyone I've met, I still have friendships from the first time I came. I love Korean culture. I love Korean movies, Korean TV, music. So everything about the culture I love. So I'm trying to find ways to work and collaborate with other content companies to create, you know, content for the global audience that shows Korean culture. It's not even an issue, but what I believe is, like, you know, besides Korean movies that make it over to US, I don't. Now there are stuff that they do, like they've done movies that are TV shows where they've done like remakes, but to me they don't really show the Korean culture. And I think and when I've worked in companies, and this is kind of maybe not for the interview, but they say, well, the Korean culture is too difficult to understand. I'm like, that's not true. I mean, everyone has, the only difference is the rules. The Korean rules of culture is different, but there's a lot of funny things here, a lot of beautiful things here, a lot of interesting things, a lot of relationship stuff that's crazy here. And in South America, people love Korean historical dramas because it's like, think of it this way, when you watch like a movie, you're watching like a science fiction movie because basically you're watching another culture with their own problems, different rules, except this guy likes this girl, but this girl likes that guy. It's just new people, different, but there's also different rules. So it's like different than their culture. It's interesting. It's beautiful, right? So I think there's a way to infuse that and bring that to the United States audience because, you know, people love, you know, a lot of the shows that they brought over here. Like, what is it, the music show, Masked Singer, the Doctor. There's a doctor show where the guy has autistic. They made a remake, but again, it's an American remake. I think there's a way to bring Korean culture and Korean stories directly. All you have to do is have a character who doesn't know everything. Like Star Wars. The way I describe it is like, there's no Star Wars, but everyone understands Star Wars, right? Luke Skywalker, he doesn't know the Force. He learns the Force. As you learn the Force, as he learns it, you learn it. Same with Korean culture. You put a character who doesn't know everything, like a child or a foreigner. As they learn, the audience learns the rules. They realize what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. And when they get in trouble, the audience is aware of what they're doing wrong, right? So I think there's a way to make that work. And there's been a challenge because the Korean system is a little different than the US because the DPO system, you know, where the underlings it seems like they can't really introduce new ideas. It's kind of a weird system right now. It's changing. So I'm trying to work through that.
So something the Koreans first time would like Koreans so weird, but after that, this is so interesting experiences and like.
Every time I tell a person a Korean story, they love it. I'm like, oh, look, I'm telling you, Korea is amazing. And so I explain to them, people understand Korea. There's different ways of doing things here. Like I said, even in business, it's just different, right? But if you explain how it's kind of difficult, people understand the drama or the comedy or how people go out. Like, I remember the first times I used to come out, there's like 4 rounds. Like, it started at 6 and we were at a coffee shop at 3 a.m. I'm like, what the hell? It went on so long. And I remember vividly, my friend, we're like getting coffee, we're drunk, and then we're looking at a hair salon at 3 a.m. They're open in Gangnam. I'm like, what the? And there's no place like this. This is so amazing. It's nonstop, right? And so there's all these different things where like people drink a little bit here, they have a little snack here, then you have a dinner, then you go out partying and go to a club. It's crazy, right? People, that's exciting. They don't do that in America. So I said, that's exciting to people.
Not in America.
There's nothing like it. Or even like the room salon situation, or basically going to bars or people going out. There's different ways, or relationships are so different here. There's just different things, right? Like I've seen people who are like in America, I explained to them like guys will give a girl a gift box of flowers and then with money in it. And I'm like, that, they're like, what? Like, yeah, they literally, they post that stuff. So it's very different, right? So I said, there's comedy and drama and different ways to show these things. You can tell stories. When I work with Line, I was trying to explain to them, like, the challenge with them was They didn't know if they want kid characters or adult characters. Well, your characters are teenagers or little kids. They're one or the other. And they were conflicted because they're like, well, we can't do, they want them to date, but they can't do anything like dating couples will do. I'm like, well, that's a problem because you have to remember, you have to relate to other people with stories that are relatable. And so that was a challenge at the time, very difficult. Because they didn't know what they wanted and they got somebody to do what they wanted and they kind of failed. But I was like, I'm only explaining from my knowledge, and my knowledge is from people that are smarter than me. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I know. And these people are amazing at what they do. So they wanted something very specific, and I'm like, what you want is very challenging to get an audience because to make anything fun that people, when you do content for TV or even a movie, you're asking someone to give up their free time. And you're up against iPhone. You're up against Instagram, TikTok. You have to beat that. So you have to give them content that reflects their lives in an interesting way. And if you just do something that they've already seen before, they're gonna go to TikTok. They're gonna go to like Instagram or whatever else. So, or YouTube, the audience of one. So you have to make something that's worthy of getting their attention, their free time, because they have other things they can watch. So it's very challenging because people get pissed off at me, and I'm like, I'm not trying to upset you. I'm just telling the truth. The truth. I mean, I have to learn the truth sometimes. It's hard. Yeah.
I made some like Instagrams, YouTubers, contents, and this is so touching to me. Okay, oh, this is so funny interview. Oh, okay. Then, are there any specific Korean culture events or experiences you'd like to have while staying in Korea?
Like I said, I've been here many, many times, and I've experienced I've experienced Chuseok, which is amazing. Many things. So I mean, I've been to Jaechon, Gwangju, all over Gangnam or Seoul area. I want to go to Jeju one day, or Busan, but particularly Jeju. I mean, I heard a lot about that island and how it is over there. I've seen a lot of presentations and a lot of like events in Korea. I've been here. The first time I came on Chuseok when I didn't know was a big mistake because I go to Insadong and it's like a zombie movie. Nobody. And I'm like, whoa, like, is there like a nuclear war? What's going on? I get to the hotel, like, why'd you come now? Like literally the day of Chuseok, I arrived, and like, that's why no one's here. Everyone's home. This is before the pandemic when people used to all go home. Now young people travel, whatever. But it was crazy. I'm like, I've never seen an empty city. And I'm like, whoa. I saw like a woman running by herself. I'm like, oh my God, zombie movie. But yeah, I've experienced so much in Korea. I mean, I just love being here. I'm learning more about it and more about the culture. I've seen a lot. So, like I said, for me, it's just traveling to more places here and seeing the countryside, really. I like seeing the natural side of Korea, and like I like seeing the palaces and old ways. Kind of for old ways over the new ways.
Okay. Then, are there any special events or meeting planned with Korean fans?
Well, in particular, like I'm trying to do art shows in the future. Hopefully meet people like that in the future. I meet people through friends and colleagues. I've done events before, but they've never been in Korea. They've been in either the United States or in Taiwan or in South America, but maybe in the future sometime here. Who knows?
I heard when I'm gonna play this interview
Yeah.
to my friends, and they are all Simpson fans. So,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
They want see you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they all.
Well, maybe in the future. I mean, like I said, I'll be doing some art projects here, and I'll get to meet people, so that'll be cool.
Okay. Then, do you have any future plans regarding activities in Korea?
Yeah, like I'm learning Korean more and more, and I'm trying to find a way to stay here, do content, create here, and collaborate with other companies, or create content for the global market here. So that's what I'm really trying to do in the future. That's the future goal. Like I said, I had that previously before I came, but there was, pandemic happened, things kind of stopped. But I'm really trying to find people to collaborate with.
Okay. Then this is the last question.
Sure.
Okay. Do you have any message you'd like to convey to Korean Simpson fans?
I hope they enjoy the shows. I think that the writers and the producers are creating episodes that are constantly evolving to meet the need, or not to just meet the needs, but that reflect the modern world, and hope they enjoy it. And I hope they love the fact the shows are trying to make shows that reflect the audience, and that it kind of focuses on family. Like no matter what happens in life, no one's perfect, right? and that family's really important. Staying together. Yeah.
Okay. The some little bit like three questions
Sure.
more. This is about this what is
Sure.
project, and can you introduce these pictures?
Oh, so basically, I did a picture of my friend with Homer Simpson, doing a Simpsonized character of him, and just having a beer with Homer.
Then, do you gonna draw these pictures for Korean Simpson fans?
Yeah, Simpsons fans basically doing a Simpsonized version of them with either themselves or their family members or the loved ones, or put them together with a character. And it can be in 2D, color. I mean, it's all 2D, but I mean, it can be just drawn, hand drawn, or digital color or painted.
Then, uh, do you have any message to this what is supporters?
Oh, well, I hope they enjoy the artwork, and I hope they come and join and see what. Let me think about that question a little more. Like, well, what I guess it is like, I hope they like the artwork. I hope I can make artwork for them that they like and enjoy. I hope to hear from them and hear their comments, and I'd like to reply to them. And, send them like artwork that they like, and hopefully there's more to come.
Okay.
If you need to ask more questions, if that doesn't suffice, I can do more questions if you want.
혹시 질문하실 거 더 있나요? 지금 okay. Okay. My questions are all over.
Okay, cool.
And do you have any message? Do you want to talk something?
I don't know. It just depends. I'm excited about this project. I mean, I think it's really exciting to reach out to people who are fans of the show and to do Simpsonizing of them, and to create artwork that they will be interested in buying and supporting. I hope to be here longer and find a way to stay here in Korea and create more artwork so they can enjoy.
Okay. The interview is end.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for your time.